All right, so let's go to our note sheet, guys. We're looking at day 6 now. So if you want to scroll down to day 6, just so you remember, this is where we left off in our last class. We were graphing and talking about slope and y-intercept and then writing the equation of the line. And you guys did a nice job with that. And in fact, on our warm-up, I saw some of you guys solve this one, the warm-up graphically, which is a great way to do that too. It takes a little bit more time, but it is a good way to do that. So today we're going to be kind of merging both worlds. We're going to do the exact same thing we did yesterday and the exact same thing we did the day before, but we have to do both processes in the same problem. So now we want to write the equation of a line that passes through these 2 points. So the first thing we want to do is find the slope. So just like given 2 points, we are going to find the slope. So let's do that first. So to find our slope, again, this would always be the first thing you do first, is find your slope. We're going to subtract the y's on top. So negative 15 minus negative 3. And subtract the x's on the bottom. So 3 minus 1. Okay, so I'm just finding the slope given those 2 points, just like we were doing before. Negative 15 minus negative 3 is negative 12. 3 minus 1 is 2. So that means I have a slope of negative 6. So again, that's the first step, is find the slope. Now the second step, so I'll change colors here, make it blue. The second step is use the slope and either point to do the y equals mx plus b. So now we have, and I can choose either of these points. I'm going to use this one because I like those numbers better. They're smaller and I think they're going to be easier to work with. But you could use the other point and you would get the same answer. But I'm going to choose the one I highlighted, the 1, negative 3. So I'm going to plug in negative 3 is going to be my y, 1 is going to be my x, negative 6 is going to be my m, just like we just did, okay? So I'm plugging that into this equation. So I have my y is negative 3 equals my m, which is negative 6, times my times my x, which is 1, and then plus b. Any questions on how I got those? We're not done yet, but I'm gonna make sure you know where we're getting those numbers from. Okay, so negative 6 was the slope, so that was our m, and I just plugged in x and y from the coordinate. So now we solve this for b. So I have negative 3 equals negative 6 plus b. Add 6 to both sides. So b equals 3. So now we're done. Basically, I just have to write my answer. So my answer, I'll write in green, is going to be y equals our slope, which was negative 6, x, and then plus our b value, which was 3. So the answer is y equals negative 6x plus 3. All right, so again, find the slope first. Then we do the y equals mx plus b. All right, so let's do number 2 together. So first thing we're gonna do, and I'm gonna use number one as a model, first thing we're gonna do is find the slope. So to find the slope, subtract the y's on top. So 4 minus 1 on top. Subtract the x's on the bottom. So -3 minus 6. All right, so let's see, 4 minus 1 is 3, right? And -3 minus 6 would be -9. So that is going to reduce to -1/3. All right, so just like the previous problem, we found our slope. Now we're going to do the blue part where we do the y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Which point do you want to use? Do you want to use 6,1 or do you want to use -3,4? It doesn't matter. Which one you want to use? 6,1. All right. So somebody said 6,1. We'll use that point. So I'm plugging, 6 is our x, 1 is our y, -1/3 is our m. So I'm going to plug those in and I get 1 equals our m, which is -1/3 times 6 plus b. Now we want to solve that for b. So when we solve it for b, let's see here, I have -1/3 times 6 is going to be -2. So I get 1 equals -2 plus b. And again, you could use your calculator for that, right, if you needed to. Add 2 to both sides. And b comes out to be 3 again. That's coincidence, guys, okay? Not always 3. I'm sure it is coincidence. Yeah, that's it, but we got to write our answer. So let's write our answer. I'll do that in green. So we get y equals -1/3, because our slope was -1/3 x, and plus 3, because our b value was 3. All right, so using those two as a model, how about if you guys try number 3, and then we'll go over that in just a second. All right, guys, let's go over this. Now, I was happy to see that most of you guys just started off by getting the slope, and that was good. Most of you got it correct. There were a couple of, positive, negative issues. So let's just make sure that our slope is correct. So to find the slope, which we do first, we subtract the y's on top. So -9 minus 5. And our x's on the bottom. -2 minus 2. And so I have -14 over -4. And a negative divided by a negative will be a positive. So first, we should have a slope of +7/2. Now, some of you had a slope of -7/2, which means you just screwed up one of your negative signs, but then the next part would not be correct. So if you had -7/2, once you change that right now, so then you can at least get the rest of it correct from here on out. So if our slope is +7/2, I'm then going to do y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to choose this point, and you could use either one, but those are both positive. So I'll Everybody loves positive numbers, right? So I'm going to use that one. So 5 is my y. My m is 7/2. My x is 2. And then plus b. So I'm now going to solve for b. So when I do that, I get 5 equals, and here I could just cancel my 2. So I have 7 plus b. So then I subtract 7 from both sides, and b comes out to be -2. So check your b value. I saw some 12s out there, which again means you just messed up the positive negative. So that's of course going to change your answer. But our b comes out to be -2. So my equation then would be y equals my slope, which is 7/2 x, then -2. So these 3 problems kind of encompass, almost everything that we've done. Because you're finding the slope, you have to do the y equals mx plus b, then you write it in that y equals mx plus b form, and then, you could say the slope of the last one is 7/2, and the y-intercept is -2.